Okie dokie, friends. Today we are going to be reading the true story of Venus and Serena Williams. What do you know about these two people? What do you know about them? Have you heard of their names before? Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of Venus and Serena Williams before. Harley, you've heard of them. What do you know about them so far? Chris?
They are tennis players?
Yeah, they are tennis players. Hey, Sarah?
They might be sisters.
They might be sisters. What gives you that idea?
They got the same hairstyle and they look alike.
You think they look alike? What else maybe from our title do you think could give you a hint that they might be sisters? Hey, Sarah? What is our title?
They're sisters.
Sisters, and anybody know what this big long word here is? CH says and
Champion.
High five. Champions. Sisters and champions. What else do we know about Venus and Serena Williams so far? Harley?
They did a lot of great stuff.
You think they did some great stuff?
Yeah, they worked hard. So they worked hard they had to sneak out of the cave of the owner who got them, who wanted them. And then their mother and dad and father
I'm gonna stop you, okay?
signed
But
up for tennis.
so you think that their parents signed them up for tennis? And maybe they had kind of a tough time doing that at first? Okay. I'm going to take a sneak peek. I'm going to take a sneak peek at the back of our book so that maybe we can learn a little bit more before we start reading, okay? So back on the back of my book. Mila. Back in the back of my book, it says, nobody thought sisters Venus and Serena Williams would become great. And certainly not as tennis players. People thought it was weird 2 black girls were playing tennis at all. They said the sisters weren't supposed to dream so big. But the Williams family knew better. Who else did we learn about last week that they said, your dreams are too big? Who else did they say that about? Yeah, maybe Ruby Bridges. Who else? Riley? Yeah. Yeah, or Bessie Coleman too, right? They said, no. You want to fly? You can't do that, right? And she said, yeah, right. I'm going to achieve my dreams, right? From their early days of childhood tennis matches to their record-breaking careers, including Olympic gold medals and multiple #1 rankings, this is the inspirational story of 2 sisters, their determination to succeed, and their unending love for each other. So let's learn a little bit more about them, okay? Sisters and champions. No one laughed at Richard Williams, at least not to his face. When he told people about Venus and Serena and the special things his 2 daughters would do, they would wait for him to leave. And then they would laugh, because he said the impossible. Good, you like the illustrations? Me too. The family lived in Compton, a real tough, sometimes scary part of Los Angeles. When Venus and Serena were 4 and 3, Richard bought them tennis rackets, believing tennis treated girls more fairly than other sports. And if his hunch was correct, that his girls would have an athletic advantage that would change the sport forever. Can you scoot a bit back? Richard didn't know anything about tennis, but it didn't stop him from saying the wildest things. He told everyone his little girls, not one, but both of them, would be champions. And the laughter would start. Christian, come sit up here, my friend. Thank you. because Venus and Serena were black, and black people, they said, weren't supposed to play tennis. They laughed because Venus and Serena weren't rich, and people without money, they said, weren't supposed to dream so big. They laughed because Venus and Serena came from Compton, and no tennis champions ever came from such a tough neighborhood. They laughed because it was hard enough for one person in a family to become world famous, but two. But the sisters' mom and dad said differently. They said the sisters were made of special brown skin and wonderful eyes, of big smiles and bigger hearts. And when it came to tennis, a kind of magic. Just wait, their dad would say. You'll see. The girls were so different from each other. Venus was quiet, competitive, protective, just like a big sister. Serena was forceful, stubborn, and even more competitive, just like a little sister. Yet these sisters were also best friends. Christian, both of those need to go in your cubby.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. When Venus was 12 and Serena 10, the family moved to Florida so the sisters could focus even more on tennis. And soon, a whole new group of people was talking about them. Have you heard about them? Tennis fans would gossip. I think the big sister's name might be Venus. Everyone is saying she's the next American superstar. And get this, someone told me her little sister might be even better.
Exactly.
Is it good or bad?
They said that they're pretty good and that the younger sister might be even better. So I don't think they're really trying to be mean. I think that they're just talking about their skills, right? Yet not all the talk was friendly. So not everything they said was very nice. The sisters were different. Their skin was different. Their hair was different. Venus was tall, really tall. And the way the sisters hit the ball so hard, like the boys, even harder than the boys, was different. In ways big and small, people reminded them of being different every day. Their father wouldn't let his girls play junior tournaments, even though everyone played juniors. He made them focus on school instead. People said Dad was hurting his girls. Dad said he had a plan, that they were a family, and families always stick together. Addison, I need your eyes up here. Can you come scoot forward? Thank you. Stick together they did. Venus and Serena grew even closer as they outworked the other girls. Every day they would hit 200 balls, then 300, then 500, then 1,000. Each day the sisters would sweat and sweat. Dad painted a sign for them that read, "If you fail to prepare properly, you prepare to fail." I'm going to read that one more time. If you fail to prepare properly, you prepare to fail.
What does that mean?
We'll talk about it in just a second. Think about what that means as we're reading the rest of our book, and then we'll talk about it. No one laughed at the girl's father anymore because his dream was becoming real. Venus was only 14 years old when she turned professional. In her very first tournament, she almost beat one of the most top-ranked players in the world. It would take Venus 4 years to win her first professional tournament, still a teenager and already a champion. Yet it wasn't just Venus who won. Serena became a champion at the very same tournament. How? Venus and Serena played as teammates in doubles tennis. Serena was only 16 years old when the sisters won as partners. Both sisters wanted to be considered the best in the world, though, and for that to happen, only one of them could win in the end. One would have to lose. There was no avoiding it. In 1998, Australian Open was the first time they played against each other as professionals. Big sister Venus won. In Rome and Miami the next year, Venus won again and again. Not until Serena turned 18 did she beat Venus for the first time.
Wait.
You have a question? Okay, show me your hand.
How old was Venus when the other girl was 18?
They're 1 year apart. So the other one would be 17 years old. 19. I thought you were saying the big sister was 18 years old.
No, the little sister was 18.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, they're only 1 year apart. So she would have been 17 when the younger one was 16. The girls became young women. Their parents always said they were special, made of magic and big hearts. Soon the sisters dominated the biggest tennis champions in the world. The Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. Venus won Wimbledon 5 times and the U.S. Open twice. Serena would win all 4 tournaments in a row and nickname it the Serena Slam. The sisters were so good, they seemed to lose only to each other. In February 2002, Venus was ranked number 1 in the world. 6 months later, it was Serena's turn to be number 1. It was the only time in history 2 sisters or brothers were ranked 1st and 2nd in the world. Another one of her father's dreams had come true. Huh? Pretty young, it looks like.
4.
Still, it hurt so much to play against each other. Neither sister wanted to see the other lose. When they competed for a championship, Mom and Dad could barely watch. They probably didn't want to see either of them lose, right?
They look like this.
She's kind of like nervous.
Do you know how old they are now?
So Venus and Serena continued to play as a doubles team, and if playing one of the sisters was tough, together they were unbeatable. They won all the major doubles championships at least twice. They played together for America in the Olympics 3 times, winning gold medals each time. As partners, they were the best in the world. Then Venus began feeling weak. Doctors told her she had a disease, one she would have for the rest of her life. It could appear at any time and steal her energy. People began talking. Is Venus's career over? Then Serena suffered a foot injury and had problems with her lungs. Doctors said, too, she might not be able to play tennis anymore. She wound up missing a full year and lost her number 1 ranking. People were talking once more. The Williams sisters will never again be champions, they said. So here they are again, saying, no, they're done.
One has disease and one
But as their parents knew, these sisters had magic in them. And the true magic of Venus and Serena Williams is that they never quit. They never stopped working, and they both returned to play tennis. The year Serena returned to tennis, she won the singles tournament at Wimbledon, and the sisters together again won the doubles championship. Serena continued to win and win and win. Almost too many trophies to count, more than any women's tennis player in history. And people were talking again. Now they said Serena was one of the greatest athletes, boy or girl, in history. Maybe the best ever.
I was pretty nervous for a second that I was able to play again.
Christian, I love how you raised your hand. I'm almost done, okay?
Okay, I just
Oh, that means that you wait until I'm almost done and then I'll answer your question, okay? The Williams sisters have a new magic now. Other little girls with special brown skin, wonderful eyes, and big smiles want to play tennis. Venus and Serena are still best friends. They will always be family, sisters who grew into champions. My first job, Venus says, is big sister, and I take that very seriously.
Are they still alive?
You know how old they are?
I'll have to look it up. Tennis is just a game, Serena says, but family is forever. Okay, so I have 2 questions for you. The first thing that I want to talk about is this quote that they had their dad paint up on the wall. It says, if you fail to prepare properly, you prepare to fail. If you fail to prepare properly, you prepare to fail. What do you think that means? Can you sit on your pockets for me? If you fail to prepare properly, you prepare to fail. Cam, what do you think that means?
Probably means if you don't, or you try to get better at the game, you will not get better.
Alyssa?
Don't give up.
Don't give up, maybe. Hey, Sarah?
It mean keep trying, or if you don't try, you will fail.
Yeah, kind of. Let's talk about that word prepare. What does it mean to prepare for something? Hassan?
Like ready to lose, but ready.
To,
Kind of ready.
yeah, to get ready, right? To prepare for something. Like, if you're going to prepare a meal, you get ready for that meal, right? Like, you have to
eat.
you have to put all of the ingredients together. You have to think about what's going to go in your food. You have to get ready, like Hassan said. So if you are getting ready to fail, it says if you fail to prepare properly. So if you fail to get ready, you are getting ready to fail. So he's saying here that if they don't train right, if they don't put in the work, they're really just setting themselves up to not be successful, right? Like if you aren't listening to our expectations in class, you are preparing to not be able to do those expectations, right? If you don't listen to what I'm trying to help explain, are you going to be able to do what I asked? No, and that goes for everything in life. If you're not doing your best job, do you think that you're going to have the best outcome? No. So did they train like a little bit, or do you think they worked really hard?
Really hard.
Yeah, they worked really hard. They prepared to be successful, right? And so they were, because they worked so hard. The other thing that I wanted to talk about too let's see if I can find it. Says here, but as their parents knew, these sisters had magic in them. And the true magic of Venus and Serena Williams is that they never quit. Do you think that we can all have that magic?
Yeah.
Is that just reserved for them? Is it?
No.
No. Because we all have the ability to work really hard towards our dreams, right? Any last thoughts? Christian, did you have a question?
Yeah.
What's your question?
My question is that, is it like, are you gonna do like something on camera there, like do like one of those?
No, we're not going to do one of those today.
I did too.
Not today. But I will look up how old they are for you guys.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see how old they are. Okay, it says the Williams sisters. Let's see if I can. So this is what they look like. This is them winning lots of tournaments, obviously, and getting to play together. This is their dad here. Can you see him right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up their age frame.
Look at me now.
Whoa, that's strong.
Oh, wow.
They're Olympic athletes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says that Venus is 40 years old. So if Venus is the older sister by a year, how old is Serena?
39.
Yeah, so they're 39 and 40 years old right now. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still very much alive today.
22 hours ago.
Okie dokie, friends. Thank you guys for reading with us. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Bye, friends.